All right, welcome to the People's Fantasy Football Podcast. I'm Doug By, here as always with Mike Rossi and Joey G Money Janolfi. Boys, how you doing tonight?
Not
Deontay's
too
back
bad.
this week.
Nice, nice. This is our Thursday show. We're going to be doing our Start Sit Sleep. We're going to do our Believer Meter, Mike's Padlock of the Week, Rapid Fire Questions, and our DK lineups. But tonight, it's the Saints and Jags, and it's on behind Mike. And this could be a good fantasy game. There could be a decent amount of fantasy implications in this game. We were just talking about one right before the show. Mike had a big decision to make in his lineup, and talk about it, Mike. What were you doing?
Well, there's a lot of big decisions in this game, especially for a Thursday night. I mean, Mike Thomas, and then obviously the one that I went with, Trevor Lawrence. Do you start him? I ended up benching him for a guy named Jordan Love.
Don't do that out there. Please don't do that.
Too late now, Joe. But
No, I want you to do that. I want you to lose. I don't want the people to do that type of move.
I like it. It's 2-1.
What's wrong with Jordan Love, Joe?
Yeah.
Jordan Love is garbage. He's gotten worse every week since the start of the season. He went down in yards week 2, even though he matched his touchdowns, and then he's gone down in touchdowns each week, and he's gone up in interceptions each week. That's what's wrong with Jordan Love.
All right. Let's see what Mike has to say about it. I got a feeling his name's going to come up right away here. So let's do our Start Sit Sleeps of the week, and Mike, go ahead and start with your start.
My start of the week, Jordan Love. Joe, I love that you said all the bad things, because that's the start of mine. He obviously came out against the Raiders in week 5, and he threw 3 picks, 3 interceptions, and he had a whole week to think about it, process what he did, come back a better person. Not only that, Christian Watson had a whole week to get healthier. Aaron Jones had a whole week to get healthier. This is the first time we're going to see this full Packers offense. Oh, and it happens to be going against the Denver Broncos defense, who I know they got better last week, but they still let up 70 points this year. So you can't let them off the hook. They're still the worst defense in the league. So yeah, I'm starting Jordan Love over people like Trevor Lawrence going against a good Saints defense, like Kirk Cousins going against a good Niners defense, Jared Goff going against good Ravens defense. I'll take my chances with Jordan Love.
I'll take talent over playing against weaker defenses.
Okay. That in real life football, yes, I will. But in fantasy, I don't care. Points matter.
With Aaron Jones coming back, they're going to run the ball more. Now they can balance the running backs more. Jordan Love will not do well this week.
All right.
I think, should we make a little bet on this?
Raiders defense is in the bottom third for passing defense in the league. So if he can't go against them, what can he do?
Mike, do you have the wheel hand?
Jordan Love. I do. Jordan Love, top 10 quarterback on the week.
Top 10? Easy.
Okay, let's do it.
Below top 10.
Oh, below top 10, you're saying. Okay, yeah.
I'm saying he's going to be above, like he's going to be better than top 10.
No, wait, there's how many games on a bye this week? No, I'll bet Jordan Love under. What's his projection for points this week?
His projections, they're high because they're going against the Broncos.
Yeah. So what is
That's why he's the star.
It's probably like 18 and a half point, something like that. But again, with
he's
16
projected 16.
16. Okay, so that's actually pretty low.
That's a low projection against Denver. I don't want to say he's going to come. I think he's going to come under 16, but I wouldn't bet that. That's a low number.
Well, you don't have to do the points.
A lot of shit talk.
Yeah, you don't have to do the points. Talk. We don't have to do the points, Joe. We're just talking.
Yeah, but correct. But top 10 with so many teams on the bye, you don't have to put up high numbers to be in that like 10 range.
Okay, what number do you like? What number are you comfortable with? Let's get this bet underway here.
Hold on. Yeah. Give me a second. I didn't know this was coming. I just want to look at all the quarterbacks.
There's 26 quarterbacks playing.
Yeah, I know,
Joe.
but I got to look at the quality of quarterbacks playing.
I don't know. For somebody that talked a lot of shit, you're taking an awful lot of time to make a bet of top 10, which is exactly what I said, a starter for the week.
So I think both of these, that's 4, 5, 6.
I believe he also said that this was the worst starter in the NFL not too long ago.
He did.
Probably before the show.
Yeah, I'll take the top 10 bet after looking at the matchup.
Hey, thank you.
All right, let's do it. Let's do the wheel.
Are we spit? So this is a one week thing for this amount of a bet. This is a big bet.
I don't care. I'm fine with it.
So
If
the
it's-
wheel is spinning, and it landed on. Is that car
I have
wash?
no idea what that is.
Can we do a different? The car always happens. Do you want to do the car wash or you want to go again, Joe?
Well, the car wash is kind of not that big of a bet, so I
Okay.
feel like that's a kind of decent one to stop on.
All right, let's do
All right,
car
let's do
wash.
car wash.
You
All right,
don't
I like
have to wash the car right away. We can wait till it's snow time or something.
Unless you just want to go with other teams' apparel for next week.
Oh,
you
yeah,
wear-
let's do that. Let's do that.
Let's
I'd
do
love
that.
to see
You wear
in Steelers
Eagles, I wear
jerseys.
Steelers.
Yeah.
All right, let's do that.
I like that a lot more. All right, Joe, who's
for
your
the
start?
Monday episode.
Monday,
the Monday
episode,
episode.
yes.
Joe,
I'll
who's
drop
your
off
start of the
me-
week?
Me and Joe Green one. My start of the week, I can't remember. I was so distracted. My start of the week. Oh, this will be quick. Gabe Davis, very easy, going against Patriots. Simple. Bouncing back from a bad week last week against the Giants.
Okay. Yeah, I like that because they're probably gonna zero in on Diggs, and the defense is awful, but I think Gabe Davis is gonna be the guy who benefits.
Yeah, big week for Gabe.
Yeah. All right. My start is Jahmyr Gibbs. As long as he plays, I think we're almost 100% sure that Demont's out.
Pretty much.
Yeah,
Okay.
pretty much. I think so.
All right. So I think this is finally the week with Demont being out. Craig Reynolds is also questionable. This should finally be the week that they lean on their first round running back. Ravens are 10th against the run. So, pretty good for the season, but they're also second against the pass. So I think if they're going to attack them at all, it's going to be with the run. And I also think that they're going to be dumping it off to Jahmyr Gibbs. So This is the week. I think this is the week for him.
I hope you're right. I want to see it. I want to
Yeah.
see that guy just have a big second half
So
of the year.
bad. Spent the third round pick on him. God, I want to see it.
Everybody wants to see it. All right. Who's your sit of the week? Mike.
My sit of the week is Zach Moss. They're going against the Browns. Whenever a running back goes against the Browns, they have a tough time anyway. Never mind, you're sharing the load with Jonathan Taylor now. And I really think that this is the week that Jonathan Taylor just takes over. Obviously, Zach Moss is still going to have a role, but the majority of the carries, I think you're going to see him start going Jonathan Taylor's way.
I agree with that. Joe, who's your sit of the week?
Sit of the week. Christian Watson is my sit of the week. So the guy who Mike thinks is going to be catching all these balls from Jordan Love, even though they're Jordan Love targets, which are gross. Denver's been playing better on defense the last couple of weeks. Garrett Wilson 2 weeks ago only had 3 for 54 against them. Last week, the top wide receiver stats for the Chiefs was 4 for 72 by Rasheen Rice. The only reason Rice had that, though, he had a 30-yard catch at the end of the game to end that last drive and keep the clock going when Denver's offense was exhausted. They had been on the field for 36 minutes. So that's the only reason that number was that big. Before that, he only had 40 yards receiving as a Chiefs top receiver besides Kelsey, obviously. Denver's not letting up a lot to receivers lately. So I'm taking Christian Watson to sit this week.
Mike, you gonna counter that? Are you gonna talk about?
I legitimately just went and traded for Christian Watson in as many leagues as I could. So I couldn't disagree
Except
more.
the league you traded away Christian Watson.
Yeah, for Trevor Lawrence and Dallas Goedert. Like I couldn't say no to that.
But don't say you did nothing but trade
I did.
for him.
Doug, did I not just trade for him this week?
He's been
But
trying.
you also traded him away.
Yeah. Well, he took him from me, and then right away he gave him to Matt. So
Exactly. I did trade for him in that league still.
all right. My sit of the week is Michael Pittman. He was my start last week. Sit this week though. He's up against the number one defense against the pass in the Browns. So I look for the Colts to try to run more. Kind of goes back to what you were saying, Mike, with JT and Moss. I think they're just going to try to run against the Browns. Are you questioning my my stats with the Browns?
Yeah. No, I'm not questioning. I wasn't listening at first, and I just realized that you said Michael Pittman as your start of the week. I mean, sit of the week, and I don't like that one either.
Okay. All right. Against the number one pass defense in the NFL.
Yeah, I think Gardner's going to throw the ball like 50 times, and Pittman's still going to come up with 8 to 10 catches, even if they're not great. I think he's going to get the ball.
Okay.
Just my opinion.
Should we do a bet?
8 to
Should we
10
do?
catches?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I'll
No,
go-
no, 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 no.
8 to 10
All right.
catches?
No, I'm not as confident on that one as I was with Joe's.
Okay.
But that's
You
just
say
what I
8
think
to
is
10
going to
catches.
happen.
You're saying
he
8
did
to
say 8
10
to 10
catches, and then you're saying you're not confident.
He backed down
You
immediately.
came at
Joe.
me.
Back down
Oh
immediately.
my God, I'm not backing
All right.
down. I'm saying I'm not betting 8 to 10 catches. I'll bet a certain number with Pittman, but I could see him doing that. Doesn't mean I'm comfortable betting it. Jeez, guys.
All right, let's go to the sleep. Who's your sleep of the week, Mike?
My sleeper of the week, it's my boy, Jameson Williams. I think that this is the week. I mean, he had the long touchdown last week. He only played 23% of the snaps, which was actually fourth for wide receivers on Detroit last week. And that's not good, obviously, right? Fourth, you usually don't want to start somebody that's playing 23% of the snaps, but Josh Reynolds played 81% of the snaps and Marvin Jones played 30% of the snaps. And Jameson Williams had more points than both of them. He's just better. He's the second best wide receiver on that team. And for a guy like him, all it takes is one snap to break one. And I think he's going to do it over and over again.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's a possibility. for
Finally,
sure.
like something you did.
Thanks.
Joe, who's your sleep?
So my sleeper is Marvin Mims Jr. Denver, yes. Did they look fucking awful last week? Yes, they look terrible. That's a bottom point. I don't think you can look any worse than that. Jerry Jeudy, there's a lot of trade talk about, so I think they're going to try to want to get Marvin Mims more snaps. And Green Bay is top corner heavy. Besides Jair Alexander, I don't think they have a ton of talent in the secondary. So Jair is going to shut down your top guy, whether it be Jeudy or Sutton. Jesus. But I think that will give opportunity for Marvin Mims. I think he's got speed that is going to hurt against Green Bay's defense. And I think he'll catch some big plays.
You're all in on Denver right now, huh? You.
He really
I-
is.
I don't like Green Bay at all. And Denver at home is a different team at home. And when teams have to travel to Denver, they usually have trouble.
Yeah, Marvin Mims is the same type of player as Jameson Williams. It's just that long shot. All you need is one catch, and it's worth it to start him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he just gets that one pop. All right, my sleep of the week is Kendrick Bourne. I almost had him as my sleep of the week last week, but then I went with Hunter Henry instead, which was a bad decision.
Keep trying those Patriots.
Hey, man, he had 10 catches for 89 yards last week. I think he's by far the most reliable guy on that. It's not saying much, but he is the most reliable receiver on that team. They're going against a Buffalo team that's still vulnerable in the secondary against wide receivers mainly. Not to mention they're going against Buffalo. They're going to be in a hole. They're going to need to dig out of that hole. And by digging out of that hole, they're going to need a pass. What, Joe?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the week we see Cunningham?
I hope so.
Whoa, you
Wow.
hope so.
I hope so.
That can't help Kendrick Bourne, though.
Well, it wouldn't help Kendrick Bourne. No, not at all.
No.
I wouldn't hope so for this part of it.
As a fan.
As a fan, dude, I just want to watch something that's fun, and Mac Jones is not fun, and we know what he is. I don't think Malik Cunningham's good, but I think he'd probably be fun to watch. And who knows?
Yeah,
He's an unknown. So
he could definitely add some entertainment value to the game. So I'm not gonna lie, I really do hope we see him for some reps at least.
yeah. I mean, he saw like 2 reps last week, maybe, but they were both gimmicky plays. So
yeah.
All right, boys. That was our start to sleep of the week. Eventually, Mike's gonna put it on Instagram. I think what our records are. Let's see when that happens.
Whenever somebody gets me what the true stats are.
One of these times. All right, let's jump into our believer meter. Excuse me.
Believer meter.
Our believer meter. We need some music for that one.
Yeah, gotta make some.
I mean, the Monkeys, right?
Exactly. It's what you'd have to go to for that.
Yeah, you have to. They have
Yep.
2 songs that have the word believer in it.
Mike's a big Monkeys guy.
Big.
I know
monkey
2
guy.
songs by them.
All right. First guy I want to talk about is Dak Prescott. This past week, he was actually the number 1 quarterback this week. Mike told me before the show, I had no idea that he was the number 1 quarterback this past week.
I was so shocked that I had to look that up like 5 times to convince myself I was right.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think anybody would. He had
That
24.
just goes along with how he said this was a garbage week.
It was.
Yeah.
100% was. He had 24.88 points in half PPR. He had 272 yards passing, a touchdown. 40 yards rushing and a touchdown. So that's
fucking
how he was
pie.
getting them. And he just did the pie. Yeah. I'm a 6. Mike's pie and Joey's 5.
So can I ask you a question before we go on it?
Here we go.
Is this your first time realizing this is pie?
It might be actually, yeah. Yeah. I don't think I ever paid enough attention to it.
Every other time you like that fucking 3-point something shit.
Yeah, yep. I don't think I ever paid enough attention to actually realize it was pie. So Mike's going.
Shit.
Mike,
Go ahead,
going?
Mike, yeah, talk
Yeah.
about your pie.
I talked about it in the sell high. I mean, first of all, he's got a bye week right now. So if you can't really believe, I mean, if it's next week, obviously don't believe in him, but for the rest of the season, he had one good week. And to me, he still hasn't proved himself to be like a clutch type of player. And I just don't see him doing much. And to be the quarterback 1, I think that's overstating what he actually did. Cause again, it was still under 25 points. So to me, he's a player that you just go sell right now. And I'm not believing him as my starter.
Yeah, I think the reason I'm not like the reason I am a little bit of a believer on him is because I think that offense is going to get better as the season goes on. As the season progresses, I think they're going to have to pass it more. We talked about it before when you were talking about him as a sell high, that it was a lot of game script before, you know? So I personally think he's going to get better, but who knows?
Yeah, I mean, he had a good game. Like, how is he quarterback number 1? He had a rushing touchdown last week. He's not going to have a lot of those. He only threw for 1 touchdown. It wasn't like they were crazy. They weren't crazy numbers. And it was against the Chargers, who Chargers haven't stopped any passing attack this year so far. So that's why I'm at a 5. I was less of a believer. He got me to that middle spot, but I'm not going higher than a 5 right now.
Yeah, it's just everybody's underachieving right now at the quarterback position. It's why Mahomes was on our panic meter the other night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's just nobody's really blowing the doors off as far as quarterbacks go. All right, let's go to the next guy. Michael Mayer, your boy, Joe. This past weekend, he had 6 targets, 5 receptions for 75 yards against the Patriots. Where are you guys at on him? I'm a 4. Joe's a 10. Mike's a 6. All right, Joe. I mean, he's yours, man. Talk about it.
Listen, obviously, my 10 is swayed, being a diehard Notre Dame guy, and I loved Michael Mayer coming out of the draft. Talent's there, man. Just give him the reps. Like, I know they have Austin Hooper, but sometimes you just got to play the guy who's the best. Hooper hasn't really done anything this season. That was the first time Michael Mayer had an opportunity, and he shined. There's no reason for the Raiders and Josh McDaniels not to play him. And with how good Josh McDaniels is at scripting for tight ends, as we've seen with Gronk in New England, this guy's got Gronk's size, and he's got some speed, and he's a good run blocker. There's no reason why he should not be set up for success in Las Vegas. My real number would probably be like a 7 if I was factoring in McDaniels and how much is he going to use him as a rookie. But it's a 10 because the talent's there, as he showed. I mean, he can do anything you ask of him.
Mike, what was your number again?
Mine was a 6.
All right, so you're believing.
Yeah, I like the next 2 matchups for 2 reasons. One, it's the Bears and the Lions. If you look at how they are against tight ends, they're not good against tight ends. So he has the advantage there. And also, Halloween's right around the corner. So Michael Mayer is going to kill it. Yeah.
Awful.
So
Awful.
stupid. So bad. Oh, my dad
Just
would
put crickets
that.
Just put crickets on.
We'll insert that. Yeah.
Insert some crickets right there. But that was great.
All right, we'll move on to the next one. Another tight end. Let's do Kyle Pitts, Mike's boy. So Joe's boy to Mike's boy. This past weekend, he had 6 targets, 4 receptions, 43 yards, and a touchdown. Is that back-to-back weeks with touchdowns? Or is this his first touchdown? This is his first touchdown.
No,
Let's not get carried away. Let's not get carried away.
Back-to-back good fantasy performances.
Okay, that's what it is. So I'm again a 4. Joe's a 3. Mike's a 7. All right, you guys both have to talk about it. So Mike, talk about your 7.
I hate that I I had no feelings for him. We talked about this. Like I
Yeah.
was done with Kyle Pitts. I benched him. I'm glad I told everybody to bench him and not to drop him. But now he's got me feeling it again. You know, like I'm ready for more Kyle Pitts, and back-to-back weeks of 12 plus points. I don't know, for a tight end position, that's gold. And I'm taking the chance. I mean, I'm just starting him from here on out because I think he was a little injured, starting to feel healthier. Ritter's getting more comfortable with this offense. So I could see, I mean, obviously he's still boom or bust because he's Kyle Pitts, but the upside is just higher than any of these other plays that you're taking shots on.
Well, that's the thing. He's still boomer still boomer bust because he's Kyle
nice
Pitts. But also it's because he's a tight end. You know, anyone who's not a top 2 or 3 tight end right now, they're all boomer bust. So that's why I've been a 4 on these last 2 guys. Joe, you were a 3 though. You really
3,
did.
man. Jonnu still played good the past 3 weeks, so he's got competition there. And then Desmond Ridder sucks. If Desmond Ridder is there, he's gonna stay below a 5 for me. If Heineke gets to the start, I may move him up a little bit, but I don't see Kyle Pitts becoming a touchdown machine after 1 touchdown.
Yeah, Desmond Ridder is also what scares me off him as well. I agree with that. All right, next guy I want to talk about is Kareem Hunt. This past weekend, he had 12 attempts for 47 yards and a touchdown. He had 3 targets, 3 receptions for 24 yards. Mike, you got a visitor behind you.
My doggy. That's Riley. He's the quiet one of my 3, so he's allowed down here.
I'm a 4. You guys are both 6s. Okay, so you guys are kind of believing in Kareem Hunt. So
Yeah,
I assume that's not believing in Ford, but go ahead.
I mean, I think Kareem Hunt, he knows this offense. He came back to Cleveland where he has been. I think he's got a nose for the end zone, as we've seen in years past. And I think he's good out of the backfield catching the ball. So I think Ford will still get some time. Ford, has got some explosiveness in him. But I think Kareem Hunt's still the more consistent back, and I think he's going to get a lot of the red zone or inside the 5-yard carries. So I think he's still got a lot of touchdown value.
Yeah, I think it might be end up being like a 50-50 split because Ford is so much more explosive of a back. He showed it again at the end of the last game. He ended up having 80 yards, I think, something like that. But go ahead, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm actually not as worried about Kareem Hunt, not because of Jerome Ford. I still think Jerome Ford is the RB1 on that team, and I don't see that changing. But I believe in the Browns defense so much that I think this is their game plan. Just rely on the defense and run the ball as much as you can. And in that type of offense, you can support 2 running backs at the flex position. So I do believe in them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think Kareem's going to be a flex worthy option the rest of the way.
Yeah.
All right. Next guy, Zay Flowers. He had a big week pretty big week this past week. A lot of targets again, 8 targets, 6 receptions, 50 yards and a touchdown. I'm an 8 on him.
Hey.
Oh, 3 8s. There we go. We're all thinking alike on this one.
Fucking jackpot.
Go ahead, Joe. You talk about him.
I mean, guy's explosive. I think he's been Lamar's top target, obviously, out of all the receivers. Wide receivers. Obviously, Andrews is still going to get a lot of his targets, but he's a playmaker, man. He's had a knack for the end zone. He's getting open. He's getting that separation much better than we're seeing from ODB or Bateman. And Bateman, that's a shocker to me. I really thought Bateman would be that guy to get more red zone targets, and he'd be the touchdown guy. But Zay's just showing how good of a route runner he is in getting more separation. And that's what Lamar needs. Lamar, if he does not see a big enough window, he's not throwing the ball. So that's where Zay is going to take over in this wide receiver core.
Yeah, that's a good point about Lamar. That's why Mark Andrews has gotten so many targets over the years, because he just sits down in the zone coverage and he's wide open. You have anything else to say about Flowers, Mike, or you think that's pretty much?
Well, I mean, pretty much, yeah. But Lamar's comfortable with 2 people. It's Mark Andrews and it's Zay Flowers, and I don't see Zay Flowers' target share going anywhere, but I do see his productivity getting better and better each week. So he's still a rookie. So if his target share remains where it is, I just think he's going to have an awesome second half of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's gonna have a good career in general. I think the kid looks great, looks legit. All right, that was it for our believer meter. Let's get into Mike's segment here, and Mike's padlock of the week. Mike, you hit it again?
No,
No, you didn't
no,
hit it.
so close. I went Drake London. He had a great week, just not a
Great week.
touchdown.
Great week.
Yeah, you were
So
close.
the science behind it was there.
So
but
my
the result
question,
was not.
is it gonna be a touchdown guarantee every week? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what it is. I don't know. I tried looking up other things before we started, and I was
Equal of
like,
a
you know what?
point number.
Yeah, I don't think it
I
has to be a
know.
touchdown every week, but it's
All right, well, I'll
it's your
change it up for
segment.
next week.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah. But my padlock of the week for the touchdown is Jalen Warren. Joe, I figured you'd like that one a little bit. They're going against the Rams. I think it's tough to run the ball up the middle against the Rams. I mean, Aaron Donald's still there. So that's Najee's game up the middle. It's not going to happen. I think they're going to go more quick pitches, flat routes to Jalen Warren. You can't do that to Najee because when Najee runs, it looks like his pants are falling down. He just has no speed at all. So I think Jalen Warren is going to expose his role on this offense. And Deontay Johnson is coming back and Pat Fryermuth is coming back. I think that opens up the defense more. It gets him more downfield and leaves the flats wide open for Jalen Warren. So I could just see him getting one in the end zone.
But Jalen Warren is your guy this week, huh?
Yeah.
Has Warren gotten in the end zone yet this year?
Nope.
He hasn't. Okay.
Nope. I looked that up too beforehand to make sure, because I don't want to pick somebody that gets a touchdown every week or something, you know?
The problem with what you're saying, I like it. The problem with what you're saying is you had so much logic in what you just said, and Matt Canada doesn't have that is the problem. that's the flaw. So
Okay.
I agree with everything you said, but we'll see if the coaches can figure it out.
Your flaw is too much
that makes
logic.
a lot of sense.
Yeah. That happens with the Patriots a lot too. The logic just isn't there.
This doesn't exist.
No. All right. Hopefully it works. What are you, 1 for 3 right now? Something like that?
1 for 3. But I know it's touchdown, but I am happy that Drake London at least came in. I'm taking the L on it, but I'm happy that maybe I gave some people a little bit of confidence to start him at least. So
I give you a little credit. You called out, you brought up a name that wasn't doing well, and he had a big game.
Yeah, that was a good call. All right. That was Mike's padlock of the week. All right, let's do rapid fire questions. So I'm gonna throw out 10 questions.
Ooh,
You guys just blurt out your answers as quick as you can.
I gotta focus on this.
All right. So let's start it here. Question 1. More fantasy points the rest of the way. Waddle or Devonta Smith?
Waddle.
All right. Over under 2 touchdowns this week for Jordan Love against Denver.
Under.
Over.
Buy or sell, Deontay Johnson is the leading receiver at Pittsburgh.
Buy.
This week.
Sell.
Okay. Pitts at Tampa or Waller at Washington?
Waller.
Pitts.
Over under 5 catches for Eckler against KC.
Over.
Under.
Buy or sell, Godwin gets his first touchdown versus Atlanta.
Buy.
Over. I mean, buy.
Gabe Davis at New England or Cortland Sutton versus Green Bay?
Gabe Davis.
Over under 50 yards for TJ Hawkinson versus Niners.
Over.
Buy or sell, Buffalo is the number 1 D this week at New England.
Sell.
All right, last question. Trevor Lawrence at New Orleans or Jared Goff at Baltimore?
Jared Goff.
Fuck.
We're doing so good, Joe.
I know. Trevor Lawrence.
All right. Good job, boys.
Sorry. Baltimore's just got a good pass defense. That was tough. Lawrence isn't healthy, and that's a tough matchup for Goff.
That was good.
That was good. I love that segment.
It's fun.
That's fun.
I was trying to beat your question as best I could, but that last one got me.
Mike just left on us. I don't know. He's going to the bathroom. I just need another beer.
Need another one. We were tough on him early.
All right. What's the score in that game right now?
It literally just started.
Oh, okay. All right, let's jump into our DK lineups. Mike, who's your quarterback this week in DK?
Quarterback, I spent all my money, guys. I went Patty Mahomes, 8,300 going against the Chargers. It's a division matchup, but I think it's going to be a shootout. Patty's out to prove something right now, so taking him.
Yeah, he's got a lot of haters like me. He needs to shut up right now.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, who's your QB this week?
Going with Josh Allen, man. Don't believe in the Pats stopping this guy, and I think he's got something to prove too because they didn't put up that many points against the Giants. So, give me Josh Allen for 8,200.
Yeah, Belichick has some trouble with this guy. With that playoff game a couple years ago, they didn't punt once. I think they went 2 games in a row that year without punting or some bullshit like that. All right, my
What was
guy's
his
Jordan
price?
Love. What's that? Oh yeah, what was his price?
I said 8,200.
Oh, you did? Okay.
All right, my quarterback's Jordan Love. We've talked about him a lot. He was only 5,800. I'm picking on this.
Don't do it.
Picking on this Denver defense. Go ahead, Mike. Who's your running backs? Who's your 2 running backs you went with?
I almost went with Jordan Love for the record. He was in there at first, and then I was like, you know what? I just think Patty is going to go off. So
doesn't pick his start of the week.
I mean, obviously, I wouldn't start him over Patrick Mahomes. My running backs, I got Brian Robinson Jr. He's 5,800. They're going against the Giants. This is just his type of game. And then I went with Ramondre. He's 5,600 against the Bills. I don't know. He had a good week last week. No one really gives him credit. He had 18 points last week. And I think that he's going to take over a little bit. I can see him getting in the end zone and ending up with another good week.
I don't know if he practiced today, but I do know he was on the injury report today. But there was half the
I
team was
think
on
he
the
did
injury
practice
report.
today.
They listed 26 guys in the injury report today, I believe.
Yeah, full participant today.
Oh, he was. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Joe, who's your running backs? Who's your 2 running backs?
Spent a decent amount on running backs here because I like the matchup. So I went Josh Jacobs going against Chicago. Obviously, we all know what Chicago's defense is. He was 7,400. And then touchdown machine, man. Kenneth Walker. Give me Kenneth Walker and the touchdowns and the carries he gets in the red zone against Arizona. And he was 7,000.
Okay. I like it. I also went Josh Jacobs. So we're thinking alike with that Chicago defense. And again, he was 7,400. I went Aaron Jones. So I guess I'm thinking there's going to be some points scored in that Green Bay Denver game. But again, him coming back, and I think he'll run all over that team. And I think Green Bay is going to score a lot of points.
I was just going to say, what do you think Green Bay's putting up a 70?
I think they're going to put up a decent amount of points.
Man, quarterback and running back.
Yeah, but that's the combo. That's the type of quarterback running back because that's what Aaron Jones does. You remember? I think it was last year or the year before.
Yeah, no, he catches a lot of balls. I don't disagree with that.
He had three receiving touchdowns with Aaron Rodgers. I think it was last year. He had 3 in one game.
Yeah.
You guys forget the Kansas City Chiefs only scored 19 points against this defense last week.
Yeah, a division game though as well. You know, Mike, who's your wide receivers this week?
My wide receivers, I got Joe, you talked about him, Gabe Davis. Again, I think Belichick is going to just focus on stopping Steph Diggs, and he was 5,900. I went with Joe Sid of the week, Christian Watson at 5,600. Again, Broncos D. I think I'm on Doug's side here. I think it's going to be a lot of points, and all it takes is one big one from Christian. And then I went with my sleeper of the week, Jameson Williams, because if I'm going to make him a sleeper of the week at 3,800, I'm starting him.
Joe, who's your wide receivers?
So my wide receivers, I got Gabe Davis, 5,900. Like Mike said, I got to stack somebody. I think they're going to try to always stop the top guy on the offense with Belichick. So I'm going to take Gabe Davis. I think he's going to have 2 touchdowns this week. Then I went Curtis Samuel. Obviously, he's done some good things lately. He's cheap. He's 4,000, and he's going against the Giants. I think this could be a big opportunity. Giants don't have a lot of depth in the secondary. And then my man coming back in the background, Deontay Johnson. I am all in on this man. I traded him in both fantasy leagues coming off his injury. Yeah, did I not say for him?
You said you traded him.
Oh, traded for him. Sorry if it didn't go through. But he was 5,000.
I like it. Yeah, that's cheap right now too for him. That might be the cheapest you're going to get him all year. The rest of the way. All right, my wide receivers, I went DJ Moore. Even with that backup, I think Joe, like we were talking about in the other show, I think if he's smart, he's just going to target the hell out of DJ Moore, anyways. I went Gabe Davis as well, Mike, because they're gonna double cover Steph Diggs, and I think Gabe Davis is gonna be the guy who benefits. I also went Kendrick Bourne because, like I said earlier, he was my sleep of the week. So he was 4,400. DJ Moore was 6,500, and like you said, Gabe Davis was 5,900. Mike, who's
we
your
all have
tight end?
Gabe.
Yeah.
My tight end. Well, I had to stack Patrick Mahomes with somebody. All right. So Travis Kelce, this is where I spent all my money. Quarterback and tight end. He was 8,000. Same exact reasons I said for Patrick Mahomes.
All right, Joe, tight end.
We're going heavy on tight ends because I went Mark Andrews.
Wow.
Detroit's not good against tight ends, so that's their weak spot on their defense, which is very solid. So I think Lamar's going to be targeting him big this week, and 5,700. I don't think is too much for Andrews at this point, so I'll pay it.
Yeah, it's not. He's due to have a big game. I went Logan Thomas. Went back to the well again. He's against a not great defense and with the Giants, and I think Sam Howell's gonna fling it around again.
Man.
All right, Mike, who's your flex?
I couldn't believe that Wan'Dale Robinson was still 3,800. That blew my mind. So
He's
I
the
went
number one wide
Wan'Dale.
receiver there, right?
Yeah,
Number one guy
I
there?
think he had 8 catches, if I'm not mistaken, last week. So 3,800 flex position, Wan'Dale against the Commanders. I thought that was an easy one.
I like that. Joe, who's your flex? Are you changing it now?
I might change it to Wan'Dale Robinson. That's a good because like you said, Taylor liked him, and I think he's the type of guy that fits good for Tyrod Taylor. Fuck, Rossi might have just sold him. Anyway, right now, my flex is my sleeper pick, Marvin Mims Jr. But it may be switching because Rossi might have just sold me there. But as of right now, Marvin Mims Jr. 3,600. I just think he's gonna have an explosive game against Green Bay.
Travis Etienne just scored a touchdown. I saw that on an
Nice.
alert.
That just won me money.
2-yard rush touchdown.
There was
So
a
that's good for
bonus
Mike
on
too.
DraftKings.
All right, my flex is my start of the week. Jameer Gibbs went with him, as I said. I think this is going to be his week. He was 6,300 all in, man. Mike, who's your defense?
Defense, I went Seahawks. Going against the Cardinals. Dobbs has made some mistakes. So I think the Seahawks can make some more mistakes. 3,200.
Joe, D?
My defense is Seattle. I made a switch in my flex, which allowed me to get a little more space and spend a little more money on defense. So when I switched to Mims, it allowed me to go for Seahawks like Rossi. Same thing, playing Arizona, 3,200. It's a good price.
All right. And I went with the Browns. I'm all in on the Browns this week. I picked them up in a lot of my leagues. We lost Joe.
We just lost Joe.
Joe's gone. He's just disappeared.
That's it. I gave my defense and I'm fucking out of here.
That's all right. That's all right. We're at the end of the show anyhow. So anyways, yeah, I'm all in on the Browns this week, man. I don't know if you noticed in a lot of leagues, I scooped him up. He's trying to come back. He's trying, man.
Don't let him. Don't let him.
The Browns D was 3,300. Oh, there he is. There he is.
I'm so sorry.
It's all right. We're right near the end.
Joe?
Right near the end.
I never get phone calls, and I got a phone call in the middle of it, and I tried to end it, but I ended the Zoom call by accident.
That's hilarious. All right, do you guys have stayaways? Did you guys write down stayaways for the week? Mike?
Yeah, I got a couple.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell them.
This is the first time in a while I did one from every position.
Nice.
Like we were supposed to do in the
Like
beginning.
You guys have been supposed to do.
Yeah, exactly. Quarterback, Matthew Stafford. He's going against the Steelers. I think that's a pretty good defense. 6,500. I just not taking the chance there. Running back, I talked about it earlier. Zach Moss, Cleveland defense, JT, 6,200. That's way too overpriced for Zach Moss. Wide receiver, I'm staying away from Stafford. I'm staying away from Kupp at 9,500. Even if he has a good game at 9,500, that's just too much. Tight end, Hunter Henry, 4,100. First of all, he's questionable. And second of all, Gesicki has been playing a little bit more. So I'd be nervous about that if I was a Hunter Henry owner. And then defense, I'm staying away from the Bears. 2,900. That's kind of overpriced for them, even against the Raiders. I'm not taking it.
All right, Mike. Joe, you got
I just got a
Stayways?
couple. I'm staying away from Justin Herbert at 8,000 against the Chiefs defense in Kansas City. They just always seem to lock down. If Chris Jones is healthy, he's always putting pressure when, especially at home when he's got the crowd going. I don't like Brian Robinson this week. I think Atlanta's going to zone in on him and challenge Sam Hall to throw. So I would that's a matchup I'm staying away at. Running back,
Wait,
wide
who?
receiver, Brian Robinson. Did I say the wrong team?
Brian.
I might have said the wrong team.
Yeah, Giants.
Yeah, they're against the Giants this week.
Yeah, sorry. I don't like him to get sorry. I think the Giants whatever, I fucked that up. But I was looking at too many things at once. But
Still
I think
doesn't
the
like him.
Giants are going to try to make Sam Hall throw. I think the Giants played better defense last week, like we saw them play against Buffalo. Wide receiver, I don't like DK this week just because of the ribs. If he gets one hit in that midsection by a safety, I think he could come out for the game. So for me, it's just the injury risk. And then everybody on Green Bay, stay away from him except for Aaron Jones.
It's going heavy that way.
Guy.
He's not budging. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm not budging on Mahomes. He was the highest guy this week, 8,300. You got to show it to me first.
My whole
Mahomes.
team.
You got to show
My
it.
whole team.
Yeah, your whole
It
team.
was mine last week, and I didn't do anything. So
Also, like you said, though, it's a division game.
Yeah.
They usually play each other tough. So, at running back, Eckler, 8,600. He's another got to show it. He only had 20 something yards rushing this past week. Is he healthy yet? Too expensive. Diggs at 8,900. Not doing that. Laporta 5,300. And then for defense, Packers 3,700 against Denver. It was just too much money for it. All right. What do we got for a score now? I think did Taysom Hill just do something? I hope so. I started him in a deep 16-team league.
It was
like-
seven-yard run.
All right, nice.
He didn't goose you, so that's good.
Exactly. All right, boys. Let's watch some football. Good show.
let's do it.
For Mike and Joe, I'm Doug. We'll see you guys next time. Later.
See you,
Later,
fellas.
guys. Good luck.